Welcome to episode. This is 4 of
Four?
What 4? We're
thought it
playing
was
golf
5.
now. This is the new golf show. I can tee off. I'm a sweaty boy. Joining me today is Christian
Hello.
and Bailey.
Hello.
Christian, what have you been listening to?
Oh, fuck.
Get your notes out, son.
That slippery boy would just come at you this quick, so sweaty, so quick, so swift, so Nestle quick.
I
Keep
came
going.
at you.
Come on,
I
keep
don't
going.
have my
I
freestyle.
don't have any more.
Put a beat on it.
Sorry.
I don't have
Bring
any
the
more.
beat in.
We're definitely more upbeat than last week. We're like, we had to record that second time and we were like,
Clinical depression.
ugh.
I wanted to just murder both of you on the spot.
Why?
Like, it wasn't your fault, but just like I just had an urge just to take something away from other people.
For reference, we were in the studio for 3 hours. 3 full sweaty hours. There was not one sweaty boy, but 3.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was just you.
I was kind of sweaty.
Fuck.
What have you been listening to?
Oh, shit. All right. I actually, these past few days, I've been going back to like I listened to some metalcore bands I used to listen to from like junior year. Yeah.
You nerd.
Yeah.
You big baby.
So I
Welcome to
listened.
this locker, son.
Fuck you. Okay, you know what?
I walk into his room sometimes and I just hear screaming and like some just bad guitar riffs. And I just look at him and he's like nodding his head like, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you don't agree with this, but I'm already in it.
This is my lifestyle
I'm
now.
neck deep in the pool.
Neck deep.
Neck Deep's great.
That's a
Like
band.
most of it, I'm still like, this is fucking horrible. But two, count 'em, two.
2.
The Color Morale and Census Fail are still solid. Well, one Color Morale album, every other one's bad.
My brother tried to show me Avenged
And then
Sevenfold.
everything from Census Fail is great.
These two are solid. Actually, it's just the one. Half of what I said wasn't correct.
My brother tried to show me Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh,
And
God,
we got to
no.
like the middle of the song with like a guitar solo, and there was auto-tune guitar. I just fucking dipped.
You're
I
like,
felt
no.
betrayed. It's like you don't have
No.
to auto-tune a guitar. It's an instrument that plays the sound. It's not like a voice that has foibles. It's a fucking guitar.
Foibles.
It's a guitar.
Spell that word.
Fuckoff.
Oh.
Bailey.
Very quick, very witty. Let's move on from my feelings, please.
Okay.
What's up with that metalcore? Can you name a couple of like albums, tracks, etc.?
I didn't write them down. Give me 2 seconds. The Color Morale has only one album that like I super duper like. Fuck, would it be under the or color? One or the two. Shit, I didn't even save the album.
This guy
It'll
thinks
load this fucking
this
good.
guy thinks we wouldn't quiz him about what he was talking about. Who does this man think
Christian,
he is?
what are your top 10 favorite colors?
Right now.
Red, blue, Spider-Man.
That's it's like a combination.
Red, blue, Spider-Man, type 2 diabetes,
Okay,
astrophysics.
fuck you.
My 10 favorite colors.
I got them ready. All right, the Color Morale, the album, the one album that's good is called No Hope. They like went from super duper generic metalcore to like kind of generic metalcore. Like the album went from being about like, hey, I'm mad, to where this album's like, hey, life is pretty great. Like, hey, shit sucks, but like things are gonna get better. Like it's very uplifting, and I think it's very nice with like compared to a lot of other metalcore where I feel like it's a lot for like sad people, where this one feels a little more uplifting. It's very like refreshing compared to other metalcore. Same with Renaissar by Census Fail, which is the other heavy album I've been listening to, where that album's all about just like, hey, life's pretty great. Like, you can make it through. And I think it's very nice. Other than that, I've been listening to Transgender Dysphoria Blues by Against Me. This whole album is about Laura Jane Grace. He went transgender from a male to a female. So every song is about his process through that and his thought process. So there's a lot of lyrics like, you just want them to see you like they see every other girl. They just see a faggot. Like, it's just very deep and like...
I think that's the first time we've used that word on the show.
Faggot?
Whoa, hey, man.
Bring it
So-
down. There's a reason for that.
Like, relax, bud.
So, like, even it's a very, like, rock and roll kind of like 90s punk sounding album, you know? Even if you don't like the music style, I would listen to it just for the lyrics, because it's really eye-opening hearing someone who, like, their whole life was a male and wanted to be a female, and a lot of the songs are like, yeah, I'd be hanging out with all the jocks, but then I'd see the girls and I just wanted to be like them. and all this stuff. It's like, it's fucking sad, but it's also really good and really eye-opening. And Isaiah's going to talk about this with me. I've been listening to Sister Cities by the Wonder Years.
Oh, do you mind if I have a little transgender anecdote of my own?
Yeah, sure.
So I follow this creator, Nick Spheres, on YouTube. They used to focus pretty much exclusively on horror content and mostly obscure horror content and like analyze that shit. They went to film school. Recently on the Tumblr Diddly Doo, which I followed them on, it was just like this very simple post. She, her. I was just like, oh shit! Oh shit! It was nuts. And she came out as transgender, and she's been, embracing that very heavily recently. And it's like, shouts out to Nick Spheres. Subscribe to her channel. She has very solid content.
Yeah. Listen to Against Me. Like, it's super good. And I think it's a topic not many people, like, actually know about or hear about, It's kind of like shoot away. But Laura Jane Grace is really good at, like, no, this is the fucking reality of it. And, like, she uses, like, harsh language and shit. She doesn't sugarcoat it at all. And it's just super good. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the Wonder Years when you get to it.
I'll noodle. Actually, let's go to Bailey and then noodle my way to me.
Noodle
Because
my way to me?
That's how we get to the topic and not exclude Bailey for like 10 minutes.
I feel like you guys just go off on music. I just have like 5 songs to say. And I don't have any albums or anything. So it's just Gap in the Clouds by Yellow Days, combo number 5, which is a collaboration between Elton, Beddoes, and the Burns Twins, Petals by the Burns Twins, Sauce by Man Wolves, and Attention by Herrick and Hooley. All of those songs are good. They're all from different genres, a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of folk, a little bit of like punk pop.
Bailey, I have a feeling. I have an idea.
Pop
I'm
punk?
Just gonna
Punko Papa.
pop Funkos.
Pop Funks.
I want a pop Funko of myself. It's gonna be so.
Sounds like a lot of cereal brands we're naming out right here, like fucking New Kellogg's.
Sponsored by Kellogg's.
Scott Bunks.
For like
Write it
3
down
hours.
right now.
But I feel like Bailey, I'm gonna pitch this to you right now. Give me that microphone here. All right, what
You
if we
hold
made?
it so gently.
What if we made a show Spotify, and just like every episode you had like a 5-6 track playlist that you put together? Would you like that, Bailey?
Yeah, I could do that.
Fuck yeah, man! So that's gonna be a thing from now on.
Yeah.
Details next episode when we have that all set up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
I've been listening to the following. I'm fucking with this mic. I feel bad about it because I feel like Chris is gonna have to edit that out. He's editing this episode.
Be nice to me.
I'm gonna talk like this the whole podcast.
Just orbiting and out of the mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move around.
Okay, I've been listening to so there's this band called Flow, and they do like ass loads of anime openings and endings, and I didn't know about this. And I go to Amazon Music and I start listening to their albums. So I'm like, I've heard this opening and I've heard this opening, and I'm like, is this one of those things where it's like you just rip the MP3 off of YouTube and post it for money? No, they just have 2 albums worth of fucking anime music. My big highlights, they've done a couple of tracks for Dragon Ball Z. They did that hero track, like when Goku's fighting Beerus and he busts through the rocks and that fucking amazing song starts playing.
Yeah.
It's that song.
That's okay.
And they did a cover of Shala Head Shala, which is I think the first opening for Dragon Ball Z.
The good shit.
That good shit.
The Shala Head Shala.
And they've done songs for Eureka 7, Code Geass, so a couple great mech anime, and a couple of other shows that I don't know about, but I'm going to find. So yeah, listen to their music. Other than that, I've been listening to, which Brockhampton album have I been listening to? All American Trash, which opening's fucking hilarious. We talked about, what's that one guy? That one track, All American Boyfriend?
All American Boyfriend. Ooh. I know what you're talking about. Keep talking, I'll find him.
So he's a part of that group. And it's All American Trash. It just has all these different beats and vibes, and it's really chill.
Kevin Abstract.
Kevin Abstract is a part of that, and you can really hear his production on certain tracks, where it's like that smooth kind of R&B feel. So I've been listening to that. And Awkward Pop Songs by Jank is one of my favorite albums ever. Just listen to it. It's pop punk and it's dumb as shit. Highlight track is The Hat Store.
It almost sounds like a parody album, but it's good. I don't know.
The lyric goes, I went to the hat store to buy myself a hat. A what? A hat. A what? A hat. A motherfucking hat.
Is that it?
That's most of the song. And finally, I've been listening to their new Wonder Years album, Sister Cities. Chris, let's talk about it.
Okay. Give me, like, your top 2 or 3 favorite tracks right
Top 2 or 3 favorite tracks. All right. My favorite track off of the album has to definitely be It Must Get Lonely. That's a track about, it seems like a changing neighborhood, you know, growing up and knowing a drug addict and, like, you're their only support system that's going to stick around. And, you know, how that's kind of tragic.
That's the song that you were really like, I don't like this song. And
Because
then,
it
like,
had
we
this
had to talk
really
about it, huh?
insufferable fucking lyric, like, out of context, where it's like, I saw a bag full of clementines spilled out over an English street, and the contrast almost made me dizzy. And I was like, shut the fuck up, Dan Campbell. And I heard it in context, and I was like, okay, that's a little bit better, Dan Campbell.
Why you gotta call him out like that?
It was because it sounds like Bailey, tell me that doesn't sound like a pretentious lyric out of context.
Out of context, it sounds very pretentious.
Out of context, but when you listen to the whole song, which you were listening to the whole song, it makes goddamn sense.
Well, I was listening to the song in the car for the first time, and I was kind of like, on the album
'Cause,
so
like,
far.
The whole song is about, like, this whole place being gray and everything being fucking sad and depressing. And then, like, he sees this bright orange thing just, like, popping out, and he's like, what the fuck? And, like, it just makes a lot of sense with the context, like we've stated.
Exactamundo. My other 2 top favorite songs on this album include Flowers Where Your Face Should Be. It's a really somber track about, I think it's like somebody who passed away, and he has a dream about going to the hospital, and in the hospital bed is that person, and there's flowers where their face should be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, it's good. And then another great track is We Look Like Lightning, which is just kind of bizarre and dreamy and intense.
We Look Like Lightning has some of my favorite instrumentals from the whole album.
Yeah, shit gets loud on that out.
Like
on that
I
song.
think about halfway through it slows down, and then the bass really kicks in and stuff, and you're like, yeah.
But what about you, Chris? What are your 3 favorite songs?
You listed, like, you're like, It Must Get Lonely, and I was like, that's my first one. Then you said Flowers Where Your Face Should Be, and I was like, that was my second one. I would also say Rainin' in Kyoto.
Ooh, Rainin' in Kyoto is good.
I think that this album, like, cohesively is better than their previous, even though I don't think it's got, like, some of the big standout tracks like their previous album. But Raining in Kyoto is one of my favorites because it just gets loud and heavy, and that's my favorite Wonder Years is when they get really loud.
Right.
But this whole album, like, together is just really good.
Where do you think this album stacks up against, let's say, the last 4 albums? We'll start at the upsides.
I think it's better than the upsides.
Okay.
I think that... Okay, well, I'm going to go top to bottom because it's easier for me. I think The Greatest Generation is still their best album.
All right.
It's the catchiest, and, like, I'm not saying that music needs to be catchy, but if you want me to listen to it more often, I need some kind of hooks to keep me going, you know? And their past 2 albums haven't had really any hooks that keep me going. So I would go The Greatest Generation, then maybe... that's actually really tough when I think about it. Because...
Bailey's fucking bored.
Sorry.
No. Talk about what you want to. I'm here for everyone.
All right, I'd go The Greatest Generation, this one, then what's the previous one?
Ooh, that one is going to be, drum roll, No Closer to Heaven.
No Closer to Heaven. No Closer to Heaven, like, just has some of their best songs completely. Like, Stained Glass Ceilings is one of my favorite songs ever.
Okay.
And then I would put... So those would be, like, my top 3. You know, The Greatest Generation, this one, then No Closer to Heaven. So their past 3 albums.
All right.
Yeah, and, like, Suburbia's above the upsides for me.
Okay, fair.
What about you?
For me, I'm going to put No Closer to Heaven on the top. I still listen to that song. It's like my writing music.
Mhm.
I love that album with a passion. I've listened to it probably hundreds of times at this point. So, No Closer to Heaven on the top. Then I'm going to put... It's really hard because I don't know whether to put The Greatest Generation or Suburbia in
Mhm.
second place. So I don't know, because I don't want to do like, both of them are great. So I feel like there needs to be a delineation, goddammit.
Yeah, I think The Greatest Generation's better.
Yeah, The
Just
Greatest
saying.
Generation, let's be fair, has more less flyover tracks, where you just kind of like, oh, this song is like kind of 1 minute long, experimental, kind of whiny. Skip.
Yeah, like every song off of The Greatest Generation is a standout track, I think.
I think everything except Madeline, but it's a good song in its own right. So
Yeah. And then, like, the closing track for that album is one of the best closers off any album.
that's my favorite song.
It's so fucking
I
good.
quoted that shit in my yearbook. That's my senior quote. Fourth place, I'm gonna put Sister Cities.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's not as catchy. It's like I don't remember like definitive riffs or crazy drum moments, except for stuff like "We Look Like Lightning." There's not really too many lyrics where I'm just like, "Fuck yeah, get that shit, Dan Campbell." But it's still a good album. Like it's much more cohesive than the other ones. And then on the bottom upsides,
Yeah. I
even though
think
it's
that,
still
like,
great.
I think their music lyrically is always improving for sure.
Yeah.
But, and even, like, instrumentally and stuff. But they're definitely going in a more, like, rock and roll experimental direction, which is fine. But I really like the catchiness of The Greatest Generation, for sure.
And I watched the.
Also, that was, like, the first album I listened to by them. So it, like, holds
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I think the first song I ever listened to by them was "Devil in My Bloodstream" was the first Wonder Years song I ever listened to ever, and it blew my mind when my brother showed it to me, and then Christian reintroduced me to the band.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I watched the Anthony Fantano review of the Wonder Years, and I kind of agree with this new album that it's like a lot of the moments are really whiny.
Oh, it's definitely a whiny or sad album. But I think that's, like, almost all of Dan's lyrics lately.
Well, yeah, but like this one especially, it's kind of distracting at times where it's like, oh, we get it, you're sad.
Yeah. Like, their last album had a lot more, like, it was tackling big problems like racial issues and stuff, where this one's more just like, I'm sad.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
there's my placement.
Can
No,
we just say that, like, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties tops every single album for me? Like, that's my favorite Dan album completely.
Dan Campbell, in terms of Dan Campbell albums, it
Yeah.
goes right below, I'd say, what is it? No Closer to Heaven for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just perfection. Listen to that entire album, but listen to You Ain't No Saint especially.
If you want to cry. That album's fucking sad.
I've cried several times listening to that album. Like, I was at a fucking airport listening to that, and I was like, don't do it! Don't do it! Like, you got your fucking mom to cry at that album, if I remember
I
correctly.
did. Yeah, I played the one where he's seriously just straight up talking about the divorce with his wife, and she was just fucking
Divorce in the
bawling.
American South.
Yeah, she
Because
was
it just fucking it ends with I had a dream that I flew back north, but the plane went down before we hit New York. You didn't come to the funeral, and it's like,
Yeah.
shut up, stop that.
It's fucking rough, man. But, like, sad songs kind of like
You guys listen to a lot of sad music.
see,
Oh, yeah.
like, it's sad, but at the same time, like, I don't know. It makes me happy listening to it because I'm like, this guy knows how to fucking write, so it makes me happy.
For sure.
Shit.
Now we're bringing back Bailey into the loop.
Hi.
I'd give it probably like a B-.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not their best. Their new one.
Positively, positively. Bailey,
Yeah.
what have you been playing recently, my man?
Shit, man. I haven't been playing much because we just don't have a lot of time to be playing a lot. Life update. We're all busy right now
There's
with life shit, school, and also second life update. If anybody wants to try and murder us all in one spot, we're gonna be roommates now.
woo, yeah.
Yeah, so we're all gonna be living together. So we've been dealing with that. So I've
Their
really
lease is
been.
up. We're trying to find an apartment. Christian's pulling in a lot of weight for that one. Thank you, Christian.
Babe. You can call me babe.
Yeah,
Babe.
don't stutter on that. Let it out.
Finals are happening. This is the last 2 weeks of school,
Mm-hmm.
and work. I'm quitting my job like soon, so that means I can talk shit about Little Caesars now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
That's
Oh my God.
amazing.
We can talk about that after the one segment.
Oh yeah.
So what have you been playing, Bailey?
Now Bailey and I are gonna go on a
Yeah.
segment
So
together.
I'm gonna steal this from you so you don't talk shit.
Son.
Me and Christian have been playing
What the fuck?
Fortnite. And and I downloaded it because I was like, fuck it, like let's see. And I played it, and I thought I was gonna have a gag. I thought I was gonna laugh, like, this game's for children. And I ended up playing it for like 3 hours, because it's actually fun. And
say that with confidence.
Bring
It
it
is fun, man.
and I don't.
Bring me that mic. I have one statement to say
Okay.
before you guys go off on a tangent. It didn't become the most popular game in the world by being bad. I just don't like multiplayer games too much.
Yeah.
Back to you.
So it's just like I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. It's just it feels simple and like it's easy to pick up on, but I feel like there's also like this high kind of skill gap too that you can kind of steadily climb your way up to. Like it's not just like run around in a spot and like your only way to like succeed and be successful is to shoot people. Like the whole building shit, I didn't even know it was a part of the game until I started to play it. Like to be honest.
And if you can build in that game, like that's the way to win. And you need to like get good at building.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this video of a guy, and he made this thing. It's like they call it a trap house. So it's like this big fucking tower, and he was just like putting down shit. This like hell, it was just so quick. He was like filling floors in like 3 seconds. And on the bottom, there's like a catapult, and at the top there were spikes. So he just waited for a dude to come in. He shot up and fucking died, and it was probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in a video game.
Mm-hmm. And I also saw that video, and I feel like it's important to say he built that in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it was like 3 stories high. He like put the catapult at the bottom, the spikes on top, and he was just chilling. Like, and now we wait. Like he knew. Like, and I think he won with that. Like,
I think he got first place with that. And another one video, it's like I've heard this is one of those strategies that kind of occurs. I haven't played the game obviously, but where it's just like 2 guys in forts across the map, and they're just shooting rocket launchers at each other back and forth.
yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's pretty cool. But yeah, me and Christian have been playing that a lot. And
Yeah.
like I appreciate the free to play kind of League of Legends style that they're throwing out.
All right.
Like it's not pay to win, but like it's pay to look cool. Like that's
So it's
basically
like,
what it is.
Oh, what's that fucking game? Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously have no desire to put any money down in that game. Because, like, the suits are cool, but it doesn't make a damn difference.
Yeah.
And,
And I feel like I'm not like at any disadvantage.
yeah.
Putting any mother in. Jeez, I can't
Mother.
talk today. Can't put my mother in the game.
Ma!
But speaking of putting money into games, I've also been playing Hearthstone.
Oh, Christ.
Um,
Have you put more money into
no,
it?
no, no. I have not. I have not.
Mhm.
It was just a good segue, and he used it. Very proud of you.
Thank you. But they came up with a new expansion, Witchwood, and I've been playing that a lot. And it has a lot of fun cards and one extremely broken card.
What's that extremely broken card?
So
do?
it's a card. I don't know if you play it at all or anything, but there's like this card called Yogg Saron in a past thing. It was like a whole like kind of Cthulhu-esque kind of pack they released. And every time like you played a spell, it would add like a random spell that card would cast when you put it down. So you could play like 30 spells throughout the game, play that card, and then it plays 30 random spells and everything like that.
That's some horse
So
shit.
it's kind of like that, but instead of with spells, it's with battle cry cards. So cards with battle cries, you play and it does something. That's basically what it is. So that card, it's called like a Shudderwalk or whatever, because like it's a whole like kind of fantasy horror expansion. So I think it's like, what's the monster from Alice in Wonderland? You know what I'm talking about?
The Jabberwocky.
Yeah, the Jabberwocky. I think it's like a play on that. But you play that card, it costs 9, and it just repeats every battle cry you played in the game. And people have found strategies to where they can just play that card like 9 times in a turn.
That's
And
fucking
take like
horrifying.
15-minute turns. And it's the worst. And like there's specific cards that the strategy builds up to, so you'll see like the pattern happening. Like, okay, they're gonna play this card, then that card, then this one, then like the card's gonna come down. And by the time they play like the second card, I just quit because like, I don't want to be sitting here for 15 minutes waiting for you to just fucking dick around.
My
It
favorite
takes
thing.
so long.
was when you told me that someone's like their hand was full, and when your hand's full, you can't draw another card. It burns the card that
Yeah.
comes next, and it burnt the card that like he was gonna use next.
Yeah,
That battle cry card. And
yeah.
he just fucking quit.
Yeah, and that's another thing that kind of sucks now in the game too, because a lot of people are just building decks around like one card, like just the whole deck relies around this, and if their card was in it, their deck would be trash. And like as soon as they lose that card, they're like, "Well, I quit," and that kind of sucks. You're like,
Yeah.
now your whole deck is garbage. Like, then why are you building a deck like that?
It's not a strategy. It's a nuke.
Yeah, it's like for memes. Like, I don't know. It's cool when it happens, but like it's frustrating when it happens to me.
Yeah.
uh,
Kind of sounds like Mistwalkers and not Mistwalkers, but Planeswalkers in Magic the Gathering, because a lot of decks are built around putting down the Planeswalker. It's like there's cards that you can use that put more cards in your hand, or put that specific card in your hand even, and all that nonsense. But then after that, there's also a strategy that incorporates the fucking Planeswalker, where it's like you have now a shitload of cards on the field, but the Planeswalker, it's like, okay, put +2/+2 on all your minions, and now you got a bunch of beefed up fucking minions on the field, and it was just leading to you just completely ganging up and just beating the shit out of your opponent, and it's the best.
Now that I think about it, in the new expansion, there's a lot of like cards that just fucking vastly just shit on like huge amounts of like any kind of deck you're trying to play. Like there's a Priest Legendary card right now that casts the spell Inner Fire on all the minions in your deck, and Inner Fire is a spell that makes your minions attack equal to its health. So all you have to do is stack your deck with like huge like health minions that have no attack, throw that down, and now you just have stupid minions for the whole game.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a 7 or 8 cost card, but like still, like fuck.
Oh, you guys want to talk about Dragon Ball Z some more?
Yeah, sure.
Fucking.
Because they have one expansion's out. We got 2 new characters, and we got confirmation on 2 new characters, I believe.
Yes, DBZ Fighterz.
Woo! Bringing it back. We didn't talk about it for like 2 episodes. Now we're bringing it back. So the new expansion characters are Bailey,
Bardock, Broly, Fused Zamasu, and Vegito.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of those picks?
Christian,
I don't know a single thing about
you don't
Dragon
know-
Ball.
That's another
Alright.
thing.
I
Those-
like the name Bros. What?
Broly.
Broly. That's a cool
Broly.
name. He's probably a cool
Here's
dude.
the history behind these characters. Bardock is Goku's dad. He was
First
the
Super Saiyan?
character to go
Oh,
Super
I've
Saiyan
seen
in the show.
gameplay of him, and he's cool as shit.
My favorite thing is the dramatic finish between him and Frieza, where Frieza's like, I think canonically Frieza kills him,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he gets like blasted, and he has this dramatic finish where he's like, he sees the future, and he's like, oh, my son's gonna kill Frieza, and he's like, fuck that, I'm ending this now, and he turns Super Saiyan and kills Frieza, and it's the best thing possible.
Damn.
It's very sick. And then Broly. Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan, if you didn't know that.
He's a cool bro.
He gets cracker fucking jacked, and he's like 7 feet tall, and he's all muscle.
Yeah. He has like 3 pecs and like 11 abs. It's
He's
amazing.
Why
basically
odd
Cosmic
numbers?
Fury.
That
Odd
looks
numbers?
weird.
Yeah, because he
Steroids.
has the muscle for it. If you could add an extra ab onto your muscle, you would.
This man has
An
a
extra
64
ab
pack.
on your muscle?
Yeah.
Like
It
my
doesn't matter
like-
which muscle.
like
it could
put
be.
it-
yeah,
Yeah, put an
like
ab
my
on your
bicep.
quads.
I've got an
Yeah.
ab.
These are my abceps.
I just want to see it like stack, like you've got 4 and then one in the middle. It's like
He is
a
stacked.
little
He's like
thicker.
the biggest character in the game, right? He like his hair touches the life bars up on the top of the screen. Like he's fucking huge.
Then we have Vegito, which is the fusion combination of Goku and Vegeta. And then we have Zamasu, which is the fusion combination of Goku Black, which is already possessed by Zamasu, and then Zamasu from a different universe to make a big Zamasu.
Yeah, I don't. That's weird.
Dragon Ball Z's stupid.
Yeah, that one's dumb. I don't know. I think Fuse Zamasu seems weird.
He kind of seems redundant at this point because
Goku Black.
Goku Black already like summons Zamasu for a few of his moves.
Yeah. But like it's just I don't know. I didn't like that whole arc. It seemed convoluted.
Yeah, there's a lot going. They bring back like future Trunks, and then they travel into the future, and then
And they kill Zamasu, but they don't really.
Yeah,
And like
it's too much.
there's a whole bunch of MacGuffin in that one.
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
But on the flip side, on the positive side, Trunks has different hair. Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
crazy!
It's blue.
It's blue instead of purple or pink or whatever you call it.
Not our trunks.
Nerd. fucking
him.
big nerd. I think that Broly and well, not Broly. Bardock's good.
Bardock's like he's just easy to use.
He does some dope shit.
He just
with
makes
his,
sense.
I think his forward key blast. It's like this 2-part thing where it flies him across the screen and you get wall bounce from it, which is fucking dope.
Yeah,
It's like he has an explosion in his hand. It's just like bye.
Yeah, he's a big rushdown character. And I think just his playstyle fits in with the meta of the game right now, and that's why people consider him more viable than Broly. Because Broly's like a big juggernaut. He's kind of slow, and he doesn't have a lot of good damage options.
But he doesn't have enough armor either. He doesn't have too
Yeah.
many moves with armor to make him like interesting.
If he had more damage on his attacks, then like it would be viable. But
Yeah.
like he just has like the base damage that I think
'Cause I've
everybody
seen-
else can pull off.
I've seen Bardock with like good assists delete life bars. I've seen Broly like do damage and that's it.
Yeah, like he has just a one specific setup where like you have to use his second like auto combo attack to like scale the combo correctly, and that's awkward to use. You have to use like a jumping heavy, then you have to use like 7 bars to get like just amazing damage off of him, where just others need like 3 or 4 and a couple assists. Like it's
Yeah, that's not worth it.
yeah no.
And I don't think I
No.
think we've seen a trailer for Zamasu, but I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know if we have. I hope we have. I'd like to see. I'm gonna check right now.
Do it.
Isaiah, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been mostly just kind of dicking around with my Switch. There's a lot of great games coming to the Switch now, a lot of remakes and ports and such. I've been playing just ports and remakes. So I've been playing Switch Doom. I got that
Yes.
day one, and I was like, this is fine. And I started playing it more, and I was like, this is it's pretty great. And then I got the double jump boots, and I'm like, this is the greatest game ever made.
Yeah.
This is my second time playing through Doom. My favorite weapon so far is the Gauss cannon because it just deletes people. And my favorite thing to do is just go off against a Hell Knight, where these big burly motherfuckers with like skull faces, and just 3 shots with the Gauss cannon, and their arm is just gone, and they're done. They're done for today.
It's like once you get into hell and you have like the double jump and everything, that game gets like fucking stupid fun.
Oh my god, yes. And one of my other favorite things to do is I forget what the enemy is called, where it's like the ones that float around. What are they called?
They're like the big circle.
Yeah, they
things
look
that-
like gazers from like D&D.
I don't fucking know.
There is a trailer for Fused Zamasu out, and he looks cool.
Cute.
We're gonna watch that shit after the show.
Yes, we are. Oh,
Maximilian has a reaction to it, so that's gonna be fun. But Doom is amazing. What the fuck am I talking about? Bailey
fuck you, bro.
is probably the biggest Doom fan here.
Yeah, I've beaten it on every mode except for the one where you have to start over if you die.
Jesus fucking Christ, that sounds
I
obnoxious.
wouldn't. Nope.
And I've seen people do speed runs of Doom where like they're flying around with the Gauss cannon and everything and all that, and like they die on the last level, and they're doing those runs where like you can't repeat, and I just like my heart drops. Oh no.
The Gauss cannon just shoots like this big fucking blue laser of you're gone, and it's so fun to use.
Bailey keeps sending us videos of like Doom at 4K, 60 frames per second with no HUD, and I'm like, this fucking looks amazing.
It's incredible. Like,
What's your guys' favorite glory kill?
oh, the one where he just fucking like just. I can't remember if it's on the soldiers or the imps, but he just fucking kicks the legs out from under him and just fucking haymakers them down to the ground
Yeah.
and blows their head off. I love that one.
My
That one's
favorite is the
great.
one where it's like he kicks them into a wall and you see the fear in their eyes for a second before he just brings his fist into their face and into the wall, and it's just the best.
Yeah.
Or the one where it's like, I forget the one where it's like that higher big red motherfucker demon where he just rips off his horn and caves his head in with it, and he just throws it away. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking get it.
I wish there was more variety with the bigger demons for glory kills.
Oh, yeah.
As like the same where you like if you look like a leg on the left or right side, you're gonna get a different thing for like the imps or the soldiers. But like you're with like the big fat guys that forget their names.
Mancubus.
Yes, those guys. But like you're always gonna like just blow them up somehow.
You have the best chainsaw kill with the Mancubus, though.
Oh,
where you just
yeah.
walk
Oh,
in
yeah.
and open up his belly, and it's just like, that felt great.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could get different glory kills depending on where you look until halfway through the game, and I was like, this shit's fucking cool. Like when you stomp on someone's fucking like knee and their knee breaks off, and then you like fucking punch them or something.
Yeah.
No, you break their knee. They're on the ground. You grab their broken knee and cave their face in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's with
That's
the soldiers.
the dumbest dumbest shit
Oh
possible.
God, they're so good.
And we might sound like sociopaths, but there are no humans in this game, only demons.
Isn't there one where like he just grabs someone's head and like rips it in half?
That's for
kind
the
of for the
Berserker kill.
yeah.
When he grabs like the Berserker upgrade, it's for the Imps.
Oh,
He just grabs
yeah.
their head and just fucking.
That one's one of my
The
favorites
imps
too.
also have a great chainsaw kill where it's like you just stick it into their chest and you see them look down and they're just like, this is not good for me.
And then,
They pull up.
yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, Doom is just the best. Doom 2016 is one of my favorite games out there.
I hope
Other
it's
than
coming
that-
soon.
Hmm.
I've been playing Don't Starve together on the Wii. Don't Starve is one of my favorite, like, Tim Burton-esque aesthetics, really heavy lines, heavy blacks, very Cthulhu-inspired. It's a survival game. I just like playing it. I'll just go into a world and start creating my fucking fort and have a good time. Then Wild Guns Reloaded came to the Switch, and I've been playing the shit out of that. It's like dumb cowboy robot game, kind of like Trigun,
Oh yeah.
and it's just a lot of fun. Just like there's a lot of simplicity to it. It is this nice, clean, simple aesthetic that combines future technology and dumb cowboy shit, and it's the best.
That's the one you were playing at the house, right? It's
Yes,
almost like a
sir.
railgun shooter, but you can still move your character.
Yeah, it's like a railgun shooter where your character and the crosshair moves at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to be able to position. It's not like reaction based like a traditional railgun shooter. It's positioning based, and you have like a dodge roll and everything, and you have bombs and different weapons, and it's real dumb, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, I'm gonna steal it again for a second. I've also been playing with you guys the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
dude.
been fun.
Dude, the being able to switch between graphics is like just
Oh my
best
God,
thing
it's the
ever.
best in
That's the new
cutscenes.
house meme. It's the
Dude.
best.
just switching in the middle of just like this beautiful cutscene where like some guy's giving orders and like there's a lot going on and there's a lot of lens flare and beautiful like textures and you switch back to the old graphics and everybody's like
It's like anime
It's like
lip
not
flap.
even showing the same thing
yeah,
at
it's
all.
not even the same scene. Like there's different like just views and camera directions completely in like both of the scenes. And you're like, how did they even how is this okay before?
It's like where there was crowds and they're like interacting and shit. Like you turn the graphics back, then there's like 3 dudes in an alley T-posing.
Yeah, and they're just 2D, not even like 3D. They're just like all pixelated. And you're like, what the fuck?
It's so good. Halo's so good.
Oh god, it's a blessing. Like I never knew it's something I wanted in a game, but like every remaster should have that option.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
definitely.
Especially if it has like cutscenes and you can just switch back and forth during the cutscenes. It's
so
the
good.
best.
It's really good.
But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut in there. Just remembered that.
I have a mini surprise segment. So this is just something I wanted to talk about really quickly. It's the inspiration behind this podcast, and it's congratulations to my favorite internet creator. So, recently, as of last September, the channel Stop Skeletons from Fighting got 100,000 subscribers. And he was originally known as the Happy Video Game Nerd. He started off as an AVGN kind of thing, but instead of being angry at video games, he was like, here's some games you've never heard of that are great. And I've been watching him since, I think, 6th grade. And now I'm in my sophomore year of college, and it took him 10 years to get to 100,000 subscribers. And only a few months later, he's at 132,000. And yesterday he released a video talking about how much of a journey that was and how he was about to quit. And his work inspired me more than literally anybody. You know why I ask you guys what have you been listening to at the beginning of the podcast? Why? Because at the beginning of both of his podcasts, he'd start with that. So what have you been listening to? It's always music first. It's where I got much of my taste. That's why I love Doom as much as I do. That's why I love stupid video games, because it's like, you know that big thing in like 2011 where it's like, games need to be art. We need to have walking simulators that are deep. It's like, but his channel is like, you can play stupid video games and love them and not give a shit. And that influenced my taste more than anything. So, congratulations, Derek Alexander, Stop Skeletons from Fighting, Grace Kramer, all you guys. Fucking amazing work.
I'll check them out.
Please
I've never heard of it, but
Yeah.
that sounds super nice.
Influenced my taste more than literally anybody else.
I will see what he is up to.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless. You guys
Bless-
check them out that are listening to.
Blessed be.
And now we've got the Devil's Advocate segment. We already got the Devil's Advocate going.
Did Chris get to talk about what he was playing?
What are you playing? Fuck, I'm dumb.
Oh,
I thought you were.
I forgot
you
about
and I
I
Chris
laughed
Dolphin.
that shit with
Oh,
Fortnite.
I think you probably forgot. Yeah, because we were talking about Fortnite. I mean, that's
Go
all
on,
I've been playing.
Christian.
I beat Spectre of Torment finally.
Dude, fucking give me 5 like under the mics. Everybody gets
I
fives.
hated myself while I was doing it, but the story for that one's actually really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Like really sad. Shovel Knight's amazing. I'm waiting for
Would you say
Kingdom.
that's your favorite game ever made?
It's one of them. Like definitely in the top 3 or so. Like
Because I don't think I've ever seen you buy a game as many times as you bought
yeah,
that one.
no, it's like Shovel Knight, the main game, is one of the best, and then each iteration with new characters just makes me love the game more and more. And it's the only game where like the music, like there's a lot of games where I will just put my headphones in and play. Like I don't need to listen to music or care. Fucking Shovel Knight, it's like I have to turn my TV like all the way up because I love the music so much. Spectre Knight, the little remixes they do for all the songs, it's so similar to Shovel Knight, but different enough to where it just feels fresh. It's so good. And I've been playing Darkest Dungeon because I got that. And
Ooh.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it, and I really like that
Have
game
we
like
talked
a
about this on the
lot.
show? Yeah, we talked about this last episode.
Yeah.
How we've been, we brought Chris in on the Darkest Friends playthrough.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you, all 3 of us played it a little bit one night, and I was like, I really like this.
It wasn't
and
a
then,
little bit. It was like 3 hours.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I got it, and I love everything about that game. Like the hub area world, like is still a little confusing to me, and managing all of your characters and stuff is a little like convoluted and a little stressful. Like I feel like it's a little too many clicks to get to where I want to be to find things. Like I wish it wasn't as clustered. But other than that, like gameplay wise, aesthetic wise, music wise, and the narrator, that game's fucking phenomenal. I really like it. I haven't
I-
played it in a couple days, but like I get so invested in my characters. Like I'm like, yes,
You can't
best
do that.
girl.
You can't
You're
do
just-
that.
You're
I
just
know.
gonna
I'm just
die.
gonna get sad because then like
We had
I
a
get
healer
so
guide
mad.
with
Like
sad as shit.
I haven't had a character die yet. Knock on
It's-
fucking wood.
You can knock on all the wood you want, dude.
I know
it's,
it's
gonna,
gonna.
happen. I know my character's gonna die. We all named our characters. I believe I am a paladin or some shit.
Yeah,
like that?
you're the paladin.
And Bailey's the highwayman.
And
Mhm.
I just hit things.
And what's yours?
I don't remember.
I think he was the barbarian chick.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, and if my character misses something or whatever, I get pissed and I like hit the desk like, "Fucking come on!" And the next one will do something. And I yell like, "Fuck yeah!" And I'm like,
It's like that
Hope
XCOM
no one's
principle
asleep.
where you get to see what your percentage for hit is, and it could be 99%, and you're still gonna miss.
I don't understand that. Like after taking a statistics course, like I feel like I'm the unluckiest person in the world
Mhm.
when I see like okay, like 90% chance of the hit and you miss. Like, dude, no,
no.
that's not how those numbers work. Like either I'm terrible at like just doing random shit, or like this you have some hidden numbers you're not telling me about. Like it's not okay.
That game's super good though.
I've never found somebody that like genuinely loves that game, so it's really interesting that you just like it out of the box, because me and Bailey needed to play it together to really like it.
I liked it a lot before.
Really? Now.
Yeah,
I'm just
it
surprised
There'd
I-
be moments where it kind of like Dark Souls, where like I have to
Yeah.
take a break, but like I like that game a lot. Like, the
I
aesthetic
really
and
don't
everything.
like turn-based games though. Like I never have, and for some reason this game clicks.
I've been aching for that shit on a Switch. I need a fucking big ass long turn-based JRPG on the Switch, or I'm gonna burst like a balloon.
I don't know. I think the reason the turn based works in that game is because like it doesn't like take you out of the world a little bit. Like when you're in Final Fantasy and you're running around, like the game stops. You're in a turn based now, but like
And it takes so long to get into the fight. It has to like announce all the enemies and the characters, and you're like, I just want to fucking go.
yeah,
And it feels a little more tedious in every other game, I
Fuck
think.
you guys, Persona's great.
shit, man. So yeah, you dropped your phone. What is that? We call that karma in real.
I mean, I
real
guess
life.
the only other turn-based game I've loved is
Pokemon.
what's that Pokemon? What's that game that Devil Survivor 2?
DS2 is so good.
But
Dark Souls 2?
No, not Dark Souls 2.
The only DS2.
the only.
Fight me.
Dark Souls 2 isn't as good as Dark Souls, though.
It's still like a 9 out of 10 game.
Yeah, you were right.
We're not going to argue this because we're arguing something different. Because I sent a controversial text to Christian the other day, and Bailey is going to rip me a new one for it.
Go ahead and tell the world what your wrong opinions are.
You're such a fucking ass.
For me, subjectively, Resident Evil 6 is my favorite Resident Evil.
We're gonna have to get closer this way.
Oh shit, here we go. I'm the lone mic man, but I'm not in my corner, so I feel very open and exposed right now.
All right. Specifically, what I was told by Isaiah is that Resident Evil 6, to him, is better than Resident Evil 4.
Ooh.
By the way, this room just got divided.
Yeah, there's
I
like
was-
actual space now.
I was
Me and
sharing a
Bailey were, like, bumping
microphone.
elbows and shit.
With Isaiah, I moved away because I'm disgusted.
Can I just
Oh,
say that I'm more in the middle? You guys are like the two extremes.
All right, here we
Okay,
go.
defend it.
So Resident Evil 6, I did originally hate it. When I got it for my birthday in 2012, I believe. I thought it was like an abomination and an affront to Christ.
As you should.
But I still beat it in co-op with my buddy Mark. Shouts out to Mark. He played that whole game with me.
Poor him.
So I kept it in my head that it was like the worst game ever made possible. And then I picked it up again for a goof. I started playing the Mercenaries mode with Christian. Like fucking, what was it, 6 months ago, Christian?
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
They're cavorting. And I found it to be like the most mechanically satisfying shooter I've ever played. Like third-person shooter, that game tops them all. It's like there is no other video game where I can like hop over a rail, shoot a zombie in the face, stun them, grab them from behind the head, and dash their head on the rail before turning around. A dog's coming at me. I do a quick draw, blow the dog away, shoot a barrel, kill 5 zombies, and then pull out a shotgun and just start going to town on them. That shit is so satisfying, and it's another reason is they weren't afraid to be stupid as hell. Like everybody knows fucking kung fu, and they're throwing people around. Chris Redfield's doing like lariats and shit, and picking people up and dropping them on their heads, and their heads explode, and it's dumb. So that game is one of the most tonally consistent Resident Evil games.
Is it? 'Cause
Yes.
I think the characters think they're in a serious action movie.
That's why it's campy.
I don't know about
Camp
that.
is
I
fun.
think one of the stories is campy. The one with the Wesker's son. All the other ones, they don't realize what game they're in.
In Resident Evil 6, at the end of that game, after quipping and going through China and America and all that shit, Leon S. Kennedy fights a motherfucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then he fights a giant mosquito, and he blows it up with a rocket launcher. If that isn't the dumbest shit possible, tell me something dumber.
You know who does dumb good better?
Whom?
Resident Evil 4.
I was just gonna say almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know who does B horror campiness better?
Whom?
Resident Evil 4.
Okay, go
You know
ahead.
who does? Leon S. Kennedy. The best comeback you've ever heard. Where did everybody go? Is it time for bingo? Fuck you.
No, it's where'd everybody go? Bingo.
Bingo. Find me a line like that in Resident Evil 6.
Fair. That is like the dumbest line possible. It is the best line in Resident Evil 4.
The way that game plays and like the tone of the game, I feel like are much different. The tone is trying to be serious. The gameplay is not.
Well, I think that's where it's campy and fun. That's where the dumb shit comes
The gameplay is campy and fun. And you go into a cutscene where Leon Kennedy shoots the president in the face,
from.
and it's a very they're
What
trying to
other
make it, they're
game?
trying to make it very dramatic.
What other game do you shoot the motherfucking president in that isn't made by like people that really don't like America? What other
But
game?
they took it so serious. Like it feels it's such a dramatic moment
That's
in
why
that
it's
game.
campy. That's why it's like because there's a moment where you shoot the president and there's all this political intrigue, and then you shoot at a gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex made of flesh.
Mm.
That's why I love that game because it knows that it's fucking stupid and it's gonna play that to the hilt.
Let me ask you something.
Okay, go on.
What are you buying in Resident Evil 6?
Fair. I'll give you that one. The fucking merchant is iconic, and in Resident Evil 6, you just kind of find high-powered weapons just hanging around.
Just hanging around. There's no like interaction. You don't build like a relationship or like a connection with your weapon.
I thought you were
You
talking
don't.
about
You
with the
don't do
merchant.
like this is. You do with the merchant. I every time I see him, I'm go like, oh, buddy, yes. Every time I play that game, I get excited.
Have
Every
you
time
ever
I see
shot
the
the
merchant.
merchant?
No, I've never shot the merchant.
I have. I regretted it because I didn't know he didn't come back.
You're a dick.
You killed Oscar. Fuck you.
For speed.
I don't care. This man killed Oscar in Dark Souls.
For
so
speed. For speed.
Doesn't matter.
For speed. For speed. For speed. He talks a lot. Just for speed.
Yeah, but you can skip all his dialogue. You don't have to cut him open.
For speed.
Speed these fucking hands. I
Well,
shot
they're-
the merchant,
hit
but I
me.
did not shoot the deputy. I think the gunplay is so satisfying. Walking and shooting is great. There's no
There's no
escort
tension.
quests. There doesn't have to be. Resident Evil 6 is not a horror game anymore. It's an action game where you do dumb shit. And you blow things apart.
And you just kind of breeze through the game, right? Like, you feel like you have all the control and the power, and there's not really any tension because you have all these high-powered weapons that you walked across and picked up.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
In Resident Evil 6, I feel like
So you don't really earn any victory.
was
it's
Resident Evil
just-
5 scary because you couldn't walk and shoot. There was no
Totally.
tension in Resident Evil 5 at all.
Because the tone didn't match. It was all bright and everything during the majority of the fights you were in, and kind of the tone you were in, and
So
the style
don't
of
you
your
tell
play.
me that mechanics make things scary.
Mechanics do make things scary.
Outlast. But Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 have the same mechanics, except for the co-op thing.
We're not talking about Resident Evil 5. Why are you changing the subject?
Because you're
We're
saying,
talking
oh,
about 6 and 4.
sitting around
Look
and
at
shooting
him.
things is spooky.
Look at him.
Where'd you saying that?
Christian.
Look at that
save
jawline
some
in that
words right
profile. Goddamn.
You need water?
No.
Christian's word is click.
I like Resident Evil 6 a lot, honestly, especially co-op when you're just running around doing the horde mode. It's a lot of fun. And mechanically, I think that game's great, although it's clunky in areas I don't want it to be clunky in, and I think that's just because of the restrictions of like when it came out and stuff. But like the aiming still feels a little clunky. Sometimes I can't hit when I want to hit or like where I want to hit, or it just doesn't connect, you know? I like how the game realizes how dumb it is, but I think that Resident Evil 4 does the same thing but better. I think because okay, so the things that I love about Resident Evil 4 that are missing from Resident Evil 6 is like the merchant, like you said, the gun progression, and the bag where you have to organize everything. Like,
Oh my God.
those are the things that make me. I would fucking spend like 10 minutes just organizing my damn bag because I'm like, I want that one thing, but I can't get rid of anything.
If there was an app that was just the attache case from Resident Evil 4,
An attache puzzle game?
yeah,
It would be the best.
I would
Yeah.
pay money for that.
It's and like Resident Evil
intuitive.
4, it's clunky, but it doesn't feel.
It feels
I don't
by
know.
design.
Okay.
Yeah,
It feels like the game was made for it to be experienced with these kinds of controls.
And like Resident Evil 4 does a good balance of being super fucking dumb, but I can still be spooked like that. And I understand Resident Evil 6 isn't trying to be scary anymore, but that's one of the things that I miss from Resident Evil 4.
It's what you look forward to when you get a Resident Evil game. You expect to see some spooky shit. Like,
And I will also say they basically like rebooted Resident Evil after Resident Evil 6.
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't reboot it. It's kind of a
The
soft
gameplay
reboot
they
in a
like.
way.
mhm.
But I feel like without the experimentation, the Resident Evil will get dry real quick because you saw that Resident Evil 5 was dog shit. I'm gonna say it now. Resident Evil 5 is one of my least favorite games because it is boring. It is dry. It has no. The only part of the game where it picks up and is fun is when you're fighting Wesker, and that's more of a story thing where it's like, I'm gonna take this motherfucker down because like 15 years ago or some shit, he was being a dick. Now I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
That's the best part of that game. And for Resident Evil 6, it's campy, it's fun. Jake Mueller's a thing now, and Jake Mueller is the best.
He is pretty
He's
great.
quipping and saying dumb shit. He's doing kung fu. There's a parry system in
I
Resident Evil
will
6.
say, if the game you just played as Jake Mueller and everybody else was a cameo, I think it would be cooler.
It would be a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun game, and it's so mechanically dense. Like, I didn't even know there was a parry system until I was told about it in a video. It was like, you can parry shit, and I'm like, you can parry shit? And then I parried a zombie, and I was like, this is the best game ever made.
Wow, it sounds like one of the coolest core mechanics of the game. Wasn't explained to the player at all through gameplay.
Eat my dick.
I think there's a lot of games where you don't know things until you're told, so I don't think that's a very good argument, honestly. I'm not going to side with you on that.
And there's like
argument.
there's
I'm
the
sick of you
rolling
right
and
now.
dumb shit. Like, you can fucking, like, John Woo. Is it John Woo?
Yeah.
John Woo roll into a room and start just blowing off heads and shit, and it's just dumb and mechanically satisfying. That's all I want out of a game.
I think Resident Evil 6 is super good. Like, I really like it, especially playing with you. I don't know if I would like it as much, like, on my own. I don't think the story is as good as the whole just, like, horde mode.
Oh, it's nowhere near as good.
But, Resident Evil 4, I just don't think you can top that game.
You know what? Fair.
And I think it's just, like, the gameplay. Leon Kennedy is one of the coolest fucking video game characters ever, and I think Resident Evil 6 doesn't really add
Capture
on to
his
him.
essence.
No Leon is as good as the fourth one.
What's the meme? Too many cooks? Too many cooks in that game.
You're not wrong.
There's too many people. Like,
Yeah.
I can't split all my, like, attention between all these people.
If they focused, I mean, it's kind of an inevitability that you need to have like all these characters in a video game, but I feel like they should have. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to kind of give an argument for that because each of those games gives a different style. It's like if you're playing Chris Redfield, you're going in with a fucking submachine gun. You're gunning down mutated terrorists and shit, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
With Leon, it's more zombies, you're controlling hordes, you're making sure people aren't getting in your fucking face. With Jake, you're just having a great time, no matter what. Jake has the best campaign.
Okay, then hear me out. Let's just take Jake, put him in all those campaigns. Leon's first, Jake seconds, and Chris is last.
You know what? That sounds fair. I feel like they could have handled Resident Evil 6 a lot better, but the game we got, especially after the re-release, is really refreshing. I feel like it shouldn't have to hold up to Resident Evil completely because Resident Evil 7 is a complete departure from Resident Evil.
Yeah, no, I think it's good that they're changing it up, honestly, because it's still Resident Evil. It's still got a lot of the tropes of Resident Evil and still follows the story somewhat. The story for Resident Evil's dumb, so whatever.
Do you think we're seeing an emerging pattern from the Resident Evils? Like 1, 2, 3 were kind of like tank based, like fixed camera viewpoint kind of controls. Then 4, 5, and 6 were kind of third person shooting, I guess. I don't know. And then 7 is like a completely new thing. After 10, is there going to be something crazy? Like, are they even going to get to 10?
I mean, I hope so because I love Resident Evil 7. I love 4 and 6. I love Remake a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Resident Evil is just a solid series, and I think you see that we're passionate about it. It's a good show. It's good
show.
police.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I think every third Resident Evil from 1 is going to be the best one out of its little subgenre.
And let's say, like, even the side Resident Evil games are great. Like, Revelations 1 and 2, I really like both of those games.
Yeah, those are good.
I love the rail shooter games that came out for the Wii.
Yeah.
Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles. I put days into Umbrella Chronicles. I love that game.
Yeah. Like, they're all really good. I love the Revelation games.
It's like, of course, there's shit games in the series, and the story doesn't make sense, and it's over-explained, and it's dumb, but it's Resident Evil.
Yeah. Like, I hope the series continues to grow. Like, it's super good. I will say 4 is great, the best. I would put 6 right underneath it.
Fantastic. I feel like we've reached not an argument, but an understanding.
That you're wrong. Okay, let's move on. Next segment.
Wow.
Wow.
Can we all agree that the remake's fucking amazing, but I haven't beat it because I'm too
Remake's
spooked?
amazing because it is the scariest goddamn game.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it comes to the Switch, honestly, because playing horror games on a Switch is fucking intense.
Can we just, like, hope that we're going to get a remake of Silent Hill 2?
No, because the last time that happened,
I want Resident Evil 2
a dumpster
first.
fire.
I
Me
want
too.
Silent Hill 2 first.
Do you remember what happened last time Silent Hill 2 got remade?
No, but, like, I want a, like, legit remake, not, like, an HD remaster.
I'll tell you what happened.
It was-
Actually, you guys should
That was
watch.
the first way I experienced it, too.
Actually, you know, I want Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, shit.
It's not going to
yeah.
have
You know
fucking
what?
multiplayer, so it doesn't matter.
Don't say that. You
I'll
take it
pay,
back.
like, an extra $20 for the multiplayer after I
But
pay
you're
$60
You're
for a
contributing to
game.
such a toxic system.
I am,
though.
but fucking Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best shooting games ever. I fucking love that game.
My brother, I remember he put hundreds of hours into Modern Warfare 2.
As did I.
Are there any other 2s that are good? I'm trying to think.
It's Resident Evil 2.
Well, I already said
Silent
Resident Evil
Hill
2,
2,
Silent Hill
Modern
2,
Warfare
Modern Warfare 2.
Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2 is the best Bayonetta.
I want a remake of Bayonetta 2.
Why? It just
I
came
don't
out
know.
like 3 years ago.
Just because
And it came out again.
for remake's sake. I don't know.
Make it look even better.
You're better. Put an extra R in there.
Make it like the Devil May Cry 4 where you have like hundreds of enemies on the screen and it's fucking dumb.
I want a remake of Devil May Cry 2 that's good.
Good luck with that. Fucking.
What game would you guys have remade so that it has a second chance?
It has a second chance.
It's like it's a good game in concept, but it's like it just didn't click.
Titanfall.
Titanfall 2,
I got fucking swept up by Battlefield.
that's fair.
I didn't get a chance to be the amazing game it was.
Titanfall 2, I've heard, is one of the better shooters out there on the market.
It's fucking great, dude.
Is it?
It's so much fun.
Should I pick it up?
Do you have an Xbox?
I've got a PlayStation.
Oh, is it on PlayStation?
I got
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Oh, the first one was on Xbox, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
forget. Yeah.
Titanfall 2 is on everything.
Titanfall 2. Yeah, dude, fucking. I don't know if it'd be worth it now because like the multiplayer and it's just kind of died off.
Mhm.
But like the campaign for that game is
Super good.
amazing. Yeah.
What about you, Christian? What game would you want to have a second chance?
I mean, honestly, probably Devil May Cry 2. Like, if they could make it an actual good game. Like, because every other Devil May Cry game is fucking amazing. So, if you could make the second one amazing, then it would be like, every game in this series fucking great. So,
Yeah, because it's like you said it's an okay game, but it just doesn't stack up to the legacy of Devil May
Yeah.
Cry.
yeah. Honestly, I think that, like, if Devil May Cry 2 was the first Devil May Cry to come out, I actually don't think they would have made any more, because that game just isn't very good.
Mm-mm.
It's just bland and boring. The combat's not very fun. It's ugly.
Give me God Hand. Again. Give me God Hand.
I thought we were talking about twos.
No.
I want God Hand 2.
I want God
Remastered.
Hand to give it a second chance is what I'm saying. What game would you give a second chance? God Hand, because that game is
Okay.
fucking amazing,
Yeah.
but nobody gives a shit about it. I have to tell people about God Hand, and I shouldn't have to.
Sorry.
God damn
and I
it.
shouldn't have to.
Because God Hand's so good, and it's so dumb, and it's like the apotheosis of every dumb fucking thing ever. It's like there's little midget Super Sentai characters that try to kick your ass, and they're really hard. It's dumb, and there's demons, and there's a fucking rail segment that makes no sense where you shoot like other ships, but also aliens. And there's no other aliens in the entire game.
They just show up.
They just show up for a second, and it's dumb. And there's demons, and you beat the shit out of them, and it's real hard. It's so hard, but I love it. Anyway,
I've never played it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
me neither.
I got it on the PlayStation 2. We're playing it,
All right,
Okay.
cool. I would love that.
and you can download it on the PS3 too.
What other games are you passionate about like that, Isaiah? Give me like one more.
Persona 4.
That game just doesn't click with me, man. I tried.
Christian.
You know I really tried. Like I borrowed it from you. I didn't. I couldn't.
Persona 4 is my favorite game ever. I could go on for days about why I like Persona 4. I could make a 3-episode podcast series about it. Because I
Have you played
love it so
Persona 4,
much.
Bailey?
No. The only Persona game I've played is the Fighting Arena.
That game is fucking
Yeah,
great. That game is
game's
stupid
good.
as hell. Fucking all the characters in Persona 4, the original Persona 4. I'm not talking about Golden because fucking I'm so sorry to the new voice actress that plays Chie Satonaka, one of my favorite fictional characters. You don't do it right.
Don't do it right.
Cuz she just like yells and she thinks that that's funny. Is Ellen Fitzgerald. When the original one just like had a lot more depth and nuance in just the voice. To where it's like Chie now has 2 settings. It's like she's being annoying or she's yelling. And it's like, no, don't do that. And then Persona Q is a fucking garbage train wreck, and I hate it.
Oh.
Do you want me to describe why?
I thought you liked it.
Not anymore. I got more into the game.
Oh.
So, Persona Q is a crossover between Persona 3 and Persona 4, the characters. Even though, spoiler alert, at the end of Persona 3, like, the main character dies.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like this big thing.
Did they bring him
extend,
back?
like, no,
Okay.
he's
Okay.
dead.
Good. That'd be weird if they're like, now he's
He
here.
did.
He gets, like, he becomes this because there's, like, this ultra-powerful being that's going to destroy the Earth. It's called Nyx. It's going to bring Ragnarok. So he becomes the barrier between Nyx and the world, and he's just dead. He is dead now. He is no longer a person. And it's really sad. The ending scene is really just rough. So it's Persona 3, Persona 4. They collide together. They've done this before with the arena fighting games, 2 of them, which are really good. There are System Works games. And it's also a crossover with the Etrian Odyssey series. So it combines the mechanics of Etrian Odyssey and Persona, but the Persona 3 and 4 cast. But then what it does is because you have like 18 characters running around, it flanderizes everybody. You know what flanderizing is?
That's a big word.
It's a character, like,
Does
if
it have
you
anything to
iterate
do
on
with
them
Ned
enough.
Flanders?
I think it does, yes.
Oh shit.
If you iterate on them enough, and you use them enough, you lose all of their nuance and they become their one memorable trait.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like a character actor kind of thing, or type.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Teddy flirts with people. Naoto is serious. Fucking
Too many cooks.
too many cooks. You
Mhm.
put too many characters into a game and it just doesn't work.
You're right, like Resident Evil 6.
Because now Leon is emo for some reason, and Chris
Mhm.
is angry for some reason, and Jake is the only well-rounded character in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Don't put too many characters in your story, or don't do fucking crossovers like that.
Yeah.
Because it ruins great characters.
I feel like the Avengers is starting to get there right now.
Oh, Infinity War, we're seeing that this Sunday because Bailey's girlfriend bought us all tickets because she's the best.
I don't know, or she's like, she was setting up time and she's like, okay, I'm buying tickets. I'm like, you buying, everybody? Like,
Everybody?
I didn't even
Okay.
know that. That's a trait that, bitch, I guess somehow got passed on to her from Bailey because Bailey's done that before with Baby
you
Driver.
guys, you guys get so mad.
I
when
hate
do
Because
that.
I was going to pay, and you were just like, I bought all of them.
Yeah. It was, I do
He
that.
did that to me and Sarah when we went to see Wonder Woman. He's all like up first paying his tickets, and I walk up to the guy and I'm like, 2 tickets, please. And Bailey's like, no. And I'm like, what? He's like, he like
spreads them
shows them,
out.
and I was like, fuck you, like right in front of the guy who was about to give me tickets. I'm like, you're fucking what?
He did that with Baby Driver. He bought me, my girlfriend at the time, Christian, Sarah, himself, all tickets. He's
Yeah.
like, fuck you, Bailey.
You're not even. I hate you.
Just stop being great for like 2 seconds,
I don't know.
asshole.
I
You're
got
making us
picked
look
that
bad.
up. I picked it up from my family because like my stepdad and my grandpa used to do that all the time. Like when we go out to eat, they try and like one up each other on who would pay for something. So like my stepdad would be like, I'm going to the bathroom like 20 minutes before everybody finished, and he would go pay for like the meal, like everybody's. He goes a full on like a long table, like the whole family's there. Like I got it, and he just paid for everything. And then my grandpa would try and like intercept the waiter because he saw her like bringing in like the little card thing, which I don't know. I think like my stepdad told her to bring it just to fuck with him because like she didn't need to, but she brought it, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna pay for all this before anybody else knows, and she's like, no, it's already paid for, and he would lose his shit.
That's awesome.
So like I feel like it's so funny just to do that to people. Like, I don't know, that and like order for people at like a sit down restaurant. Like, what do you want? He'll have a salad.
If you do that to me, I'm gonna kick your
Yeah,
ass.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're probably. I want to do this before we all move in.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to EG's at least once.
Okay.
It's like we're all moved in together. Celebrate.
Just why EG's?
Because I've never been to EG's.
Oh, okay.
And I want to either like because the EG's for like where
Is EG's like a nationwide thing?
I think so.
I hope so, not just in where we live.
There's like 4 of them in Reno. They're all numbered.
Well, just fucking say it, man.
So
Yeah, we
my
live in
social
Reno,
security
Nevada.
is this. Our
my
address.
God.
Oh fuck! Don't edit that out. I guess they know we
No,
live
I'm gonna
in Reno.
edit it all out.
Mm-hmm. No, leave it in. Reno, and then like just play a commercial for the city.
The custom JPEG is just the arch.
Mm-hmm.
So we live in Reno.
We live in Reno, the best city in Nevada.
Did you guys remember the minor Facebook controversy over that late night show guy being like, guys, North Korea, just if you're gonna nuke us, don't nuke Reno, Nevada. It is the most important place in the United States. Don't nuke Reno.
I'm not from here, so I kind of thought it was funny.
It's really funny. If you live here, you're like, yeah, it's Reno.
What is important here? There's like, would there be any
I
tactical
can't
reason to
name a
nuke
single
Reno?
fucking thing,
No.
dude.
I can't think of anything either.
I feel like the only it would be just kind of funny and redundant because there was nuclear testing in Nevada.
Yeah, I guess. Like, do you think it would be tragic? Like, oh, you nuked Nebraska. Like,
You nuke.
If
God
you can't identify
damn
it on the map, I feel
Jeez, we lost Arkansas. Can you believe it?
Wyoming. What?
Delaware.
South Dakota's just gone, guys.
Sorry to everybody from those places. If anybody in Arkansas is
Gonna
like,
get a lot of
"Dog,
like hate mail.
Louisiana. What? How
I feel
dare
like
you?
I feel like the only place that like everybody kind of agrees should be nuked is Connecticut.
Connecticut? I don't know. I feel like there's some good history there.
My
Like,
friend
at
that goes
least.
to film school, John, he hates people from Connecticut. He's like, everybody from my fucking school is from Connecticut is a pretentious, rich asshole. So we could just nuke. And then we had a discussion in my my 303 class about
Connecticut?
yeah,
What
because
about 'em?
my teacher went to NYU,
Mhm.
and she's like, the people from fucking Connecticut were the worst. So let's nuke Connecticut. Hashtag nuke Connecticut.
Or hashtag 2 people said Connecticut people suck, so we're nuking Connecticut. It's a huge consensus. We've all agreed.
Exactamundo.
Okay.
Connecticut's gone.
I love you, Connecticut people.
Connecticut people, I feel you.
Connecticutians.
You can't just fucking change your mind.
If you're rich and you hear this, I need help.
Help.
Please,
Can you pay off my
financially,
car?
Yeah, support me forever.
I'll
'Cause
become
I know you can.
I'll take back everything I said.
Mm-hmm.
We'll nuke your neighbor. Take out the competition. Who neighbors Connecticut?
I think Maine.
We're not nuking Maine.
Not nuking Maine. Rhode Island?
Fuck Rhode Island.
I don't know.
That's where Family Guy is, and Family Guy hasn't been good for a decade. Let's nuke
But
fucking
it
Rhode
was
Island.
good.
Yeah, and
Would you be mad if all of a sudden somebody said, "You're not good now"? Blew your head off.
You used to be good though.
Yeah, it used to be good. Now it's too late.
And
We're
then boom,
canceling
that's
you.
the end for
That
you.
was it. Could you imagine?
I just fade out of existence.
How would you feel? Like, you're right. You know what? My
You know,
everything
you are
I've done
right.
is garbage. Now is what matters.
You were good like 16 years ago. I was 4. Yeah, you were good.
Yeah.
You were pretty all right when you were shitting in diapers, but now that you talk and stuff, no.
You're pretty good whenever you just walked up to somebody and you're like, "Hey, my name's Ike. I'm 3. I like apples, bananas, and my parents are divorced."
All of those are true.
Yeah, oh, really? Shit. This has been I Can Dig It. I'm sorry.
No, I have an announcement. I have something
Oh
to
shit!
announce.
I'm awkward now though. Dude, you can't just have an announcement all of a sudden. After
was
that,
planning
don't
this.
blindside me. Oh shit! Dude,
Alright.
go ahead, fucking.
How do you feel, Bailey?
Say your thing. Say your thing.
I was mulling this over on a Twitter poll.
You were what?
Mulling this over on a Twitter
Oh,
poll.
I thought you were bullying something. I'm like, whatever.
I ain't no asshole. But I recently read a book. And I hated it so much, I'm going to start a booktube channel to first discuss this book and then, to branch off from that. We're going to be hosting it on YouTube and we're going to be putting links on the site. So that's going to be a thing expected in June.
Are you about to DSP this book?
DSP doesn't do quality rants, and he doesn't understand
like
things.
you're about to do what people do to DSP to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
going to
fall-
shit on this
Don't
book.
fall into the wormhole, man.
I'm not going to... I like the author. Just don't like the book. I'm just going to make a video on it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to branch out to other things, books I actually do like.
Okay, good.
All right, man.
Keep
That's
it
a
positive.
thing in June. We're going to keep it positive. We're going to keep it good. I'm going to be recommending good books instead of that book. This has been episode 4 of the I Can Dig It podcast. My parents are divorced.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Look at his face.
You're crying.
He didn't know.
This has been I Can Dig It. I've been Bailey. Isaiah's been a sweaty boy. And Christian's been gorgeous.
My parents are divorced. Have a good night.
We'll see you
Bye,
later.
bye.
Bye.